feel ashamed to like reach out to me, reach out to me and I'll be able to help you. Nawulira hivyo. Yep. Ogemaniam. This was one of my favorite tracks when the time I did a lot of practice on this scene. This was one of my favorite tracks, but now I've taken a long period of time without playing it, so I've even forgotten. So I've even forgotten how I can actually fly it. I can't remember very well. Yeah, but it only takes a few. Where did you get that controller and how much? Okay, this controller, I bought this controller some time back. This is the Radio Master Boxer, one with the premium gimbals. I bought it, it was about, I think at that time I bought it, I just released them. I think it was about $260. I think right now they've gone a little bit down. Yeah, but again, I feel like since I was just starting out, I didn't really have to buy such a controller. Yes, I didn't really have to buy such a controller. I'd have gone for something a little bit cheaper. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't really have a person to guide me. So, a lot of these YouTubers we watch to recommend stuff, a lot of them are tech bait. So they will discourage you to buy stuff and all that. So you find yourself spending a lot of money on certain things you'd have actually gotten something for. Yeah, but yeah, this was about 250, and I bought it on Amazon. Yeah, I bought it on Amazon. It was via Amazon. But you can get a lot of this stuff on AliExpress. Yeah, AliExpress, and it is easier to ship in stuff via AliExpress because with AliExpress you get things directly into the country. But then Amazon, you have to use you supply, you buy from Amazon, then you have to send to someone, an address in the USA. Then from the USA, it has to ship to Uganda. So it ends up being more expensive because, I mean, if you have to calculate the amount of money I spent on like buying one, Timothy Banks, how are you, man? How is Namibia? Namibia Gambachi. So if you calculate the amount of money I spent like to finally get it here, it was about 350. So, but again, if you want me to recommend to you a better option, yeah, I can recommend something. You can either get a Radio Master Pocket or you can get a Radio Master T8L. If you're on a budget and you're starting out, those would be my recommendations. If you have some money and you really want to go for premium, but again, it won't really improve the way you fly, but if you want to go for something a little bit big, you can either go for a Radio Master Boxer, or you can go for a TX. There is a TX16, yeah, that is like the best out of the best, yeah. Oopsie. So if you really have any questions about drones, about camera equipment, you can drop them here. I will try to answer as much as I can. Yeah. I'm not like the very most technical person out there, but yeah, at least I try and do my research sometimes here and there. And if you want to like get into drones, it could not be FPV drones because this is like a niche thing. Not everyone is like interested in FPV drones. Yeah, but a lot of people are least interested in drones. You could want to, fly these normal DJI drones and you don't really know where to start. Or maybe you have a drone and you really want to upgrade. Yeah. You can drop your questions here and I'll try to answer as much as I can. Meanwhile, this is not a game, this is a simulator. A simulator is somehow a little bit different from a game. A simulator is a little bit more realistic. Yeah, and for anyone who wants to get into Yo, Gary. Manje?
Omusajja yakutudde.
Sajja yasose n'asirikamu awo.
Naye. Ekyeza teyakutudde.
Yagambye ajja kunzira naye ate yasirise kati munayawo twasoose nange nensirikamuko. Just lwakuba ate nafunyeyo munyayo omulala yaŋŋamba mpa ssente ate kati guli gwambalala kati. Ofuna akuwa ssente wano Kampala.
Buli gwe yaddako avadde gwambalala.
Ofuna akuwa ssente e Kampala wano munayo ate kati ogende embalala nga waliwo ow'e Kampala so.
Oba oyokyezza.
Kiba tekigatta bulungi embalala bagenda kutambuza the day before akutwambuze ku Sunday kane wano e Kampala okeera bukeezi okitegeera. Kati nze muyinza wanteerako ssente nja kwewamba buwambi.
Gaali. Naye kati era ekitimba kimukutte. Kati mbadde mbuuza. Gundi eyo ngenda gifuna ntya?
Mashini nadde njirese wa Paulo eyo simanyi. I don't know Paulo boso omuteerako ka message nagikuteerako ekya.
Nagireka Paulo?
Nadde nagireka wa Paulo eyo waliwo nagendako eyo nenjirekayo eyo.
Ayinza obba teyangasse.
Sisuubira. Naye so okujja mubuuza kuba kati eriwe kati simanyi.
Kale.
Yo. Amani bankubidde essimu. Bankubidde era kati mbadde njogera naawe n'onkubira kati avudde gutyo mulanga kutte.
Kati tuddeyo.
How is it?
It's good. I think that you guys have to take some videos to that.
Visuals ziri zitya?
Video mwana wiko ito chumana. Kamera ngani.
Kamera mbi?
Nungi.
Nungi ate audio?
Yeah. Anyway, so perfect and the explanations are good. I think they're trying a video so to be
Nego hizo bonus video ge manyoge mosiki.
Nenda, the uyara. Today.
Tujatekayo TikTok ogimanyi. TikTok ogimanyi. I've left her standing. Okay, someone had called me, that's why I had left the live, but now I'm back. So, so there are so many types of drones. When it comes to FPV, you have a huge variety of drones. Yeah, you have from like the smallest, like very, very small ones, to very big ones that can even carry cinema cameras. So the size differs and maybe the shape differs, but the technique is almost the same. Yeah, so once you can do something like this in simulator, trust me, you can actually go out in real life and do the real thing. That's why this simulator part is very important if you like want to venture into drones. And this is a step, if maybe only if you're like, anyway, even when you have like so many drones, it doesn't make sense for you to skip this part of doing sims, because when you do stuff on simulator, by the time you go into real life to do it, first of all, you have the confidence, you can do it with minimum effort, but also you do not really waste so much money on like building repairs and all that, because I mean, this is something you have gained the skill, you have the muscle memory, you don't really have to look at the controller. So this step of doing simulator is very, very important. That's why it is even more important to get a very realistic simulator. Yeah, because now for me, take an example of me, I spent a lot of my time when I just started. I think I did over 100 hours in a sim that was not, very good. By the time someone told me to switch to Velocidrone, it is like I'd never been in simulator before. So it is very, very important that if you're flying, you use the right tools. Yeah, for me, the simulator I'd recommend is Velocidrone. To me, it is the most realistic one of all the simulators I've tried. Even other simulators are good, but again, personally, I feel like this is the best sim. Yeah, first of all, it's cheap. It does not strain a lot, let me say, your GPU and all that. So Amani, can I invite you as a guest? Over, you're very busy. If you're very busy, if you're not very busy, I can invite you as a guest. You talk, you tell people FTV. It's oops. You see? Now, I think I'm really crashing because of you. Now, you have joined this live. Now, I want to I want to do perfect lines, you know. Yeah, again, I'm not really familiar with this track. There's a time I had this track on my fingertips. I could know where to go. I feel like that is very important when you're hitting live tracks. You should not think about where you're going. Yeah, you should really know. You should really have it at the back of your head. Oh, where is that? Yeah, I'm a little bit rusty. I've also been doing sim for a long period of time. Yeah, I've been off sim. Actually, this year I've not really flown FPV a lot. But now the remaining part of the year I'm going to try and fly more of it because I realized how much I miss FPV. So, yeah. Again, I feel like the most difficult thing, let me say, when it comes to like flying FPV drones is throttle management. You're supposed to manage your throttle very well. All those other things are important, but I mean, with my small experience, throttle management is like the most important thing. And if you manage your throttle well, then yeah, you can do a lot of things because you really have the drone under control. So again, if you really have any questions that are FPV related or even generally drone related, assimilation, yeah, Agamosh. Yeah, I was wondering when you're going to show up. How are you, my brother? How are you doing? How is life? One of the best videographers and photographers around town. If you could only add the drone thing, you could be, you know, a complete creative. For me, I'm here to help you whenever you're ready, whenever you decide to make that step, that you want to, you know, venture into FPV, not even FPV drones, even these other drones, because I feel like, yeah, just like FPV is just a tool, just like any other tool, camera and all that. So if you want to get into FPV, you could get into FPV. But again, if you just want to get into drones and you know you don't really want to get into the complexity of FPV drones, you could start out with normal drones. And if you really want recommendations on what drone you should start out with, yeah, you could also drop your questions and yeah, I can try and recommend to the best of my knowledge. Yeah, Yeah, okay. I've also overdone this track. Let me change track. Okay, today now this training is not very intentional. I'm not really looking at hitting, maybe doing like records and all that. I'm just, because I've also spent a long period of time without like flying, so I'm trying to juggle my memory and going through the different tracks I've flown before. I'm not really so familiar with a lot of them, but yeah, this is also another track. This is Outdo. Yeah, I also feel this sometime back. There's a time I truly had this entire track at the back of my head, but right now, since I've taken time, I need to, take a few laps and just see how everything else works. So again, I'm here to help you guys getting 2 drones. Consultation fee is 0 shillings. 0. That's it. $0. Never. Yup. That's cool. Ready to hit the road and land. Yeah. So I have a WhatsApp group. Yeah, if you want to be part of this group, and people are always talking drones and all that. There are people who are more technical than I. And if you really want to be part of that WhatsApp group, you can send me a DM, or maybe I can try and pin the link. But I also have a Discord server. Yeah, I feel like Discord makes much more sense because people really come after for WhatsApp. Let me say, if you have a conversation and really come after that conversation, you can actually benefit from it. But with Discord is different. It keeps everything. So if people even have come after, like when that conversation has been held, there is still benefit. So I really encourage people to join my Discord server. That link is in the bio, so it is easier to get to. Yeah, this is a simulator. Yeah, it's a simulator. It's not a game. Yeah. The game is a little bit harder from a simulator. Simulator is more realistic. Yeah. That means the physics is up to point. I'm here too. Mihindo, how are you? How are you doing? Senior pilot. Hey, are you for real? Yeah, I'm humbled to have you on my live, my brother. If you want to be invited as a guest, yeah, abantu bekono kyobagamba when it comes to, you can comrade. Are you sure? This track is a little bit frustrating. Ram Sage. Ram Sage, how are you doing, my brother? Do you want to be invited? I can invite if you want to be invited.
Akakagala nsokera ennyo omuti gw'omuyembe kiki?
Your network is fine. Try the stadium. Which stadium? Stadium. Let me see if I can get a track with the stadium. This track has been a little bit frustrating for me because first of all my sitting position is not like the best, but also let me see. I'm testing the. I've also taken a long period of time without flying it, so yeah. Well, let me try a stadium and see if I can get a stadium. But in the meanwhile, keep on tapping screen. You tap screen. If you want to be invited as to co-host, something like that, please send in those requests. I'll be seeing some of them and then I'll also be accepting them. Let me try this one and see if the stadium. Football stadium, yeah. I've not even flown this in a long time, so no, this is the stadium. This was one hell of a track. So it takes some time to get used to a track, to be able to fly it comfortably, because if you're going fast, then you don't need to think about where you're going. You're supposed to have enough time in that track for you to fly through that track seamlessly, because you see, yeah. Let me look for a track I'm a little bit familiar with. My network is really poor. Don't like this simulator so much. Yeah, this is Velocity Drone. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let me look for something I'm a little bit familiar with, because if I go for a track I'm not very familiar with, it's going to be a little bit boring for you guys. Let me try this one and see. I haven't been flying simulator for some time now, so this this one also. This one a little bit familiar. Let us try this one.
Yes, Mr. Airborne.
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm very good. You're displaying tremendous skills. Yeah.
True.
Like, how long does it take someone to reach that level of yours? Because really,
Again, I feel like
it's world class.
It really depends on how committed you are.
True.
If a person is like well committed, it can even take them less than a month.
Sure.
And I think it also depends on the person guiding you, because I mean, for me, it took me longer because I spent a lot of time doing the wrong practice.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's because the obstacles seem complex, but the way you are navigating them, like you make it looks like so complex. I mean, very easy. Yet, in actual sense, I expect it to be very complicated for sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that compliment. Yeah, it's okay. It is a little bit hard. I might make it look easy, but it's a little bit hard and it requires a little bit of practice. That's why I said it really goes back to how committed you are and the kind of practice you're doing.
And another query was like when someone has practiced on the simulator and then they have tried to master the art, like when do you recommend them now to hold the actual VPN drone? I mean FPV drone.
When they feel they can. But again, I feel like if you can do it in simulator, you can actually do it in real life.
Because I've watched some of your videos and I've seen you crashing. What's the financial implication? Because also that needs to be mastered by someone before they venture into it.
Again, I feel like when it comes to FPV drones, crashing is inevitable because it could be due to so many things. Remember, let me give you an example. You think about FPV as something. Let me say you're driving a car.